Are you ready to update your existing folding doors? Well, I'm going to show you the trick to get that done. And we're going to change out this outdated track system, but we're still going to be able to use our existing bi-folding doors. So that's going to save us a lot of money so we don't have to buy more doors. We're just going to make this a more practical, a more useful door system for us to open and close these doors. We're going to do all that right now in this video. These bifolding doors, along with many others, they all have the same issue. Usually at the very top up here, a little piece falls off, you try to replace it, and it doesn't fit in the track system that you have. Bad design from the get-go. I've never been a fan of it, but I do like the space-saving ability when you go to open these. And so I've been thinking, what can I do to change this out, make this more modern, and make it functional so you don't have any more problems with this track system? Titeck reached out to me and they asked if I would like to do a review on their product. And as soon as I seen it, I said yes. I didn't know this existed. They have got a bifolding barn door rail system. So I'm going to show you in this video how to install this new bifold barn door rail system. Take the door off. What you want to do is open it up, slide it all the way back, grab this side and the other side, push up, and then pull it out from the bottom, and then let it drop down to the floor, and your door is out. This piece over here has a little spring at the top. Once you lift it out of the bottom track, you can move this door out of the way. Now this track doesn't come with the doors, which is fine because I've already got doors already. If you just had one bifolding door, and not a double bifolding door, you could get away with just having just one system here. But because I have two, I decided to go with the two 40-inch so that I have the span to go across through here. The 40-inch will cover you for two 18-inch doors, which is why it's 40, so it's a little bit longer, and it'll accommodate two 18-inch doors. So I basically have two of those that I'm going to put up here so that they can work to open both of these doors. The next step is find where all your studs are. Use a stud finder, a magnet, whatever you choose, but you got to know the layout of your studs and mark all those out. A lot of times you can just tap. If you hear that. What if you don't have a stud and you just put it in the drywall? Well, you're probably going to have it fall down on you. This is a primed finger joint board, and this would be plenty strong enough to hold this, and that way if you screw into this, you're screwing into wood no matter where your track system goes, and that eliminates the issue that you may have with doing it without a stud. So how this works is it would go up here. Now if you were to hang your track on this right now, it's going to be off of the floor quite a bit, because remember the track system was right here. This is coming down to hide the track and hide some of the wall when the doors are closed. So if you plan on doing a header and you're okay with having a big gap at the bottom, this right here will work. If not, you're going to have to trim some of this off so that you can drop this down and have it hanging right here. You won't lose the height of the doors gliding across the bottom of the floor like they were intended to. Then you might want to just change the molding on the side as well. Totally up to you, and it will cost you money to buy the wood to go around there. And it's going to look a lot better than this type of molding anyways. Cut it to where you want it, and then have your top piece go across it. And you'll just have a new casing. That's what I'm going to do for this right here. I have to figure out how long that header board needs to be. 80 would be good. I'm going to cut this off so I have 80 inches. That's giving me a little extra on both ends. Half inch or whatever we end up with is fine. Right at 80 inches. We need to be taking down this casing using an X-Acto knife and cut around the casing so that it'll free the paint or caulk or whatever's around there so that you can take down your casing without tearing out half of the paint with you. And then you're going to need more than likely a hammer. I have this one because it's a little bit more quieter when I use this nail puller. Take our X-Acto knife and cut around here. You got to do that all the way around it. Probably got years of stuff caked on there too. Every now and again you get a couple nails stuck in the wall, so we use our hammer. So we have all the casing down. Now it's time to take down our track system. So there's screws up in this track system and they may be hiding on you. Here's one because it may have gotten covered with paint, and there's another one back here. So we're gonna loosen this up, slide this out of the way so we can get to that one. And there's our screw hiding right there behind it. You're gonna have to go around and get all the screws out, and that'll take down the track. Easy enough, right? So the other piece to the track is gonna be right here, and you have to get those out. We've removed our track system completely out of here. Now we just have to start figuring up our measurement of our door here, 79. When you put the door up here, you don't want to have a gap at the top. You don't want to see that. So we're going to come down an extra inch. The door is 79. We added an extra ½ inch off the floor. 78.5 is where we're going to put the bottom of our board. That should give us plenty enough room. We've already marked out where our studs are. We've already marked 78 on both sides. Now we're ready to hang up our board, and to do that I'm using these 2-inch drywall screws. I have my level and my screw gun. We have our line marked at 78.5, and I'm going to go off of that to put this up. Now we can put a level on it. I like that. Now that gives us something for our track system to screw into. 6 1/4 inside. That means it's going to be 3 1/8 center of this board. And that's where these pieces are going to end up, is right here at the center. And so I'm going to mark the end over here. Take the same one and mark the end over here. So those should meet up right in the middle. And that should leave me with 5/8. Our doors are 79 inches, and we're going to add a little bit extra from the floor up. So we're going to go up to 81.5, and we're marking 81.5. Same for the center here, 81.5. 81.5 is the center point to where our screw is going to be. I got a couple clamps to put it up there, so this looks pretty decent. It's nice and level. If you have 79-inch doors like I do, you can make these holes at 81.5 inches. That's what I'm doing here. And now we're pretty much done with this. We can take this one down. So we have 3 of the long screws with our washers. We have these. We're going to go through here. And we're going to go through here. And this will be right there. Right, now we can tighten these up. We'll do the middle one first. Perfect. And we'll put our level on here just to make sure we're staying level. Yep, looks good. Now we're going to do one exactly like this on the other side. Everything seems to line up good. The measurement's right. I have our 2 doors laid out here. We're going to be adding our brackets to the top of here, but we're also going to be removing some of the hardware. As you can see here, there's a lot of hardware still on here that we're not going to be using, like these. And we're going to just remove those. And you can tell that one came out way too easy. And that's where some of these problems lie in these doors. This is the top side of the doors. And we're going to be adding our hardware to go right on here. And they will become the new pieces so that they can hang up onto that rail. When you're doing a board like this one, if you go off of what the book says, 1 3/8 of an inch, you'll probably get it wrong. You want to make sure that you have the right clearance to swing your doors when the rollers go across the rail. What we want to do is make holes for our bolts here to go through. You want to make sure that you have the right clearance. We've got our tape measure here, 7/8 of an inch. And then we're going to take a carpenter's pencil. This is really good for this because you can make the pencil mark right in the middle for your drill bit. We're going to do the same thing over here on this side, 7/8. If you run the drill in reverse, it'll help make a more accurate mark so that you can drill forward without it slipping on you. All we have to do now is add our hardware. Now this acorn goes on the top. Then you put this piece on here. Washer, the nut. You just want to tighten these just a little bit. You don't want to scratch up the powder coat. So I'm going to use a rag just to put on the top of here. And I'm just going to do a turn or two just to make sure that it's on there nice and snug. And that's it. Nice and tight, not going anywhere. Then we're going to do the two on the very top. And for those, we just have these screws here. Not the short ones. Those go for hinges if you're putting hinges on. Going to go right here in the top. One more on this side. So that one's done. Same thing for this one. Okay. Now we have our rollers. They're not identical rollers. One of them has this extra piece in there, and this one does not. This one that does not is going to be your free roller, meaning it's going to roll across the top of the rail, and this one is going to stay in one place. You're going to unloosen this piece, goes in here. I've already taken the liberty of unloosening it. So the one that's going to be moving is going to be this one. I also marked it as my left door, so I knew this went on the left side. You're going to slide this in like this and then tighten up that one screw that's in there with your Allen wrench. It's the smallest Allen wrench they give you. And it's going to go in there and it's going to lock that other piece in there, so this basically won't come out. And you'll feel when you can't go no more, that's pretty much it. It's hitting around the other side. So now this will turn any direction you want, and that's that. Now this little piece right here is going to go in here. This is going to be the stop. So we're going to hang our door up, and then we're going to add this extra piece on there. We're going to add our other piece here, and this is going to be the stop that's going to hold it on this side. This cradles onto the track, and then we're going to get it back here, right up in here, and then you have the little bolt that comes through there. We're going to have to get behind here and tighten that up, but we don't know yet where that's going to be at before we actually tighten it up. Let's see how it stops it. They open and close and slide. It's nice. I like it. The next step is to get our other one on here so we can figure out where we want this to stop at. And until I get my other door, I won't know for sure where that's going to be. All right, we have our other door in place here. We're going to add the stop. Slide it on the rail. Now we're going to tighten that up. We have to get that bottom piece in here so that these will stop sliding around. This is the piece that we have to put on the floor. We'll make a hole in the bottom of the door, and you'll slide the door down onto there, and that way it'll hold it in place. On the bottom of this door, I already made a hole for my piece to slide in there. I just have to slide the door out here enough to get it in there. That one's in there. You're going to want to measure from your header here out and find the center, which is 2 inches to the center of the door here. And the reason being is because we're going to have to do the same down here, just like we did on the top. So with this board right here, it's the same size as the header board. Basically, use that as a guide. I'm going to go out 2 inches to the center, just like I did up there. And then I'm going to make a mark. That is right where a plate will be. I can slide our plate out. Now, because we have concrete floors, we're going to have to drill these out and drill into the concrete for this to work. We can go ahead and screw this in. Okay, solid. We have our piece put in there. The copper piece in the bottom of the door. Now we're going to slide them together. And now it's stationary down in the floor. That's it. And look at that. That works perfect. It's nice and stable now. It's not going to move. We put our casing on here. And down here, when the door is open, there is going to be a little bit of a gap. You just can't take that gap out unless you build something out here to go around it. Other than that, it looks really nice. Just have to fill little holes and paint, and we'll be done. That's pretty much the process that you got to go through to put up these bifolding barn doors. I really like this. I think that this is a great way to eliminate that terrible track, and it glides just so smoothly across the rail. And I would recommend this for anybody who has that old bifolding track system, because if it's giving you problems, it's time to throw it out and go with a different approach. And this happens to be the best way that I found to hang these up. And now we'll have no more issues with those bifolding doors. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we will see you in the next one. Booyah!